You know who'd be the perfect person for Marvel Zombie Season 2? Frank freaking Castle. I know the lead is supposedly going to be like Bucky, but and as cool as that is, you know who'd be a better person as a lead? Punisher. You know, he doesn't have to be a lead. He could just be like a side character. He will be, his screen time will be as much as Blade Knight's screen time. You know, he'll be like there that everybody likes to see, and he's just doing his thing or farming all the time. Yeah, that's literally what he has to do. The thing with Frank Castle is that you could do almost anything with him. You can make him have the single gunslinger dude like he always is, or Rhodey actually is gone and he takes up the the War Machine suit. Perfect. Or and this is a reach. How about Frankencastle? You know why it's also funnier? The Walking Dead. All I want is a goodbye Red scene. All I want is Frank saying goodbye Red as he shoots Daredevil. Zombie Daredevil. It writes itself, guys. You know, we also a fun sanctuary place led by Fisk. It'll be funny. It makes sense, you know? You know what also makes sense? A zombie bullseye infecting Matt to be a zombie, and then he dies from Frank Castle. It all works. Come on. And you know what's the biggest question I also have? Where the heck is Black Widow? Because Black Widow is not a zombie. Because we never see her as a zombie or a corpse or alive or nothing. There's nothing to do with her. Bucky's around, and they had a fling, kind of. But you know who also had a longer fling? Daredevil. It writes itself. And look, I promise you. Look, listen. If Blade Knight wasn't a thing in this show, I would have been like, okay, maybe Guardians, maybe Natasha, I guess. But no, because Blade Knight happened, and Daredevil Born Again came out. That means it's okay to put Daredevil and the Defenders in. I know John Berthal will probably need to have a lot more control if they want him to be part of the show. But come on, it's too perfect not to do. If you want, you can give him a different voice actor. I could care less, honestly. I don't mind that. In my opinion. Oh, they're gonna ruin Frank. Like, Frank hasn't been through so much crap already. Like, he hasn't, like, you know, been a regular shooter. A fist of the hand or something. Like Frankencastle. Also, it's a different universe. Why does it matter to you? All I want is a goodbye Red scene. Like, goodbye Red. That's it. Imagine, it's literally parallels the rooftop scene. Now, one more character, of course, that's important to me that I want to talk about. It's Spider-Man. I love him in the show, okay? He did his job. I just get giddy because it's Spider-Man. It's something new. However, he almost got armored. If you watch Attack on Titan, you know what I mean. However, there's only two things you could do with Spider-Man. All I care is that you give him more screen time. There's only two routes you can go. Either one, you can make him into the most terrifying zombie in all of fiction. Come on, it'd be fire. It'd be scary, but awesome. Or two, make him Spider Knight. Because that's happened before. The game has a costume. There's been a comic. Like, it technically works. It's a thing that happened, so makes all the more sense to it. You know what I also want? You know, I want a flashback scene. I mean, it's not going to happen, but this is my headcanon. Remember in Marvel Zombies, the comic, when, like, Peter's infected, and as he's turning into a zombie, he's telling Aunt May to run off or hide in the bathroom or run away. Imagine that, but reversal. So Aunt May becomes a zombie, and Peter Parker is the one who's told off to leave or something. Like, that'd be amazing. That'd be tragically awesome. I would love that. I just want Peter Parker to have a bigger role. And, okay, can I just get rid of a few things? Or debunk a lot of things people don't like about the show because it's forced hate. Okay, number one, the show was great. I mean, well, okay, it's cheesy, but it's great. Both comic and movie have their issues. Comic has a lot of lore problems because it's very complicated. I guess it was more gory horror, where the show and even What If lands on cheesy horror, where regardless how they feel about it, but they're both have the same quality level, but for different reasons. Problems. Secondly, the goal of Wanda was to not defeat Banner. Sure, one person said that, but that wasn't what Wanda said.
She has finally gathered an army strong enough to defeat Banner.
No matter what, we cannot let the witch touch Banner.
Like, the whole point was for her to touch him, not to defeat him. She knows that. She can't defeat the Hulk, technically. I don't know why people just assume that you can beat him in the fight. But that's a whole other conversation about Wanda and Hulk, but that people won't stop crying about because they act like we've been suffering with these two's current status for the last, I don't know, 50 years, even though it's only been like a few. Also, Riri, can we give Riri proper Iron Man suit, please? In this show, can we do that, please? What is Adam Warlock gonna do? That's a question. All I ask is you make Peter Parker give more screen time to my boy. That's all I want, okay? Everything else won't surprise me if it doesn't happen, because I know people are like, oh, it's not happening because it's a wasted potential show. I'm like, bro, here's the thing. Sometimes I understand if you don't get the thing you want, but at the same time, are you judging it for not getting what you want, or are you judging it for what you're given? Like, I'm more self-aware to be like, okay, sure, would I prefer to get what I want? Yes. But do I hate the thing I'm given? No. If anything, I actually really like it. Like, I just rewatched it literally just now, and I'm like, whoa, it's better. Like, sure, there's some things I have a problem with. Like, for example, the only things I actually didn't like about it is in the What If episode. What If episode itself, it's a little more cringier. Just some moments are cringier, but the show is way better, obviously. And sure, its biggest problem, and I think whatever it's dialogue or lines or whatever, I think it's mainly just cheesy horror. That's it. It's just cheesy dialogue at many points. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it could have done better. And I think this is the same problem applies to the animation, because I know people, because I get annoyed when people despise the animation of What If or Zombies. I'm like, no, it's great. Because I think for me, it's not really the animation, it's more the design of the character design, because it's a perfect blend or perfect ladder between like comic booky while also balancing the face of the actors. Depending on the character. Works well. I think I noticed this as the expression. I feel like some moments the expressions are great. Some moments it doesn't fit well. You know, it could have done better. It feels bland. All right, so that's the other thing. But the animation's great. If anything, the action is like honestly like the closest to Clone Wars in Marvel in terms of action. Point is, there are some moments that there could have been better, and a lot of great stuff here. I still really like it, especially in rewatch, because I get more invested in the characters. And heck, I missed out on a lot of the Marvel stuff in the Multiverse Saga, and yet I'm still invested in the characters and the tension, and it works well because it's not trying to be like the most horror thing ever. It's just, hey, Marvel Zombies, heck, fun. That's it. And What If, it's like, it's very hit or miss in terms of what quips land, but in the show, it's like, oh, it works. And even if some doesn't work as much, it could have been better. But it's not like horrible, you know, it's just cheesy. That's it. And you know, it's interesting how the show focuses on the zombies as the protagonists, where the point of the show is actually a zombie apocalypse focusing on the survivors surviving the apocalypse, which I love the reversals. And you know what's also funny? Between the What If episode and the show, over time the zombies, for their own reasons, grow more intelligence. So like in the show, originally it's like Walking Dead zombies, but then later on it's like, oh, they're having more movement. Some of them even talk. So maybe by the time we get to season 2, maybe they're slowly becoming the zombies you know from the comics. Like actually full personality, they're all crazy, and some of them feel guilt, some of them don't. Maybe we'll actually get to that point. That'd be interesting. I like the slow progression to that. Well, that's if that's the intention, which I won't be surprised if it isn't. You know who also fits? Elsa Bloodstone. And the Werewolf by Night cast. And Ghost Rider. And everybody. No, just kidding. What would happen to the Guardians? I don't know. All we have is Quill, Mantis, Drax, Nebula, Kraglin, and Cosmo. And Adam Warlock, he will come up from his cocoon at this time, I guess. You know who's never showing up, but will fit perfectly for this universe? Cloak and Dagger. But that's just... Come on! At the end of that scene, Kamala Khan's like, what am I doing? And Spider-Man's like, oh, I may become a zombie or a Spider-Knight. And then the portal opens, and it's not Doctor Strange, a different kind of portal, and it's Cloak. Come on, it'd be perfect. I swear, Cloak and Dagger are the MCU's most available characters, and I actually do have ideas for them, or there are plans that you can work with them. It's just that they don't do anything. But that's a whole other video, I'll get to that. Point is, the bottom episode, mixed relationship. The show, good job. It did its job. It did well. Sure, could have been better, of course. But like, is it bad because I didn't get the thing I want? No. I'm not like an ungrateful kid on Christmas or something. Like, I already kind of liked it when I first saw it, but now rewatching it, like, I liked it even better. So I think maybe for some people it's better on rewatch if you're more open, if you're more open-minded and don't focus on the thing you want. Also, as a wise man Sal once said,
don't forget, you know, if you're ever waiting for something cool to happen in the MCU, it already happened 20 years ago in the Marvel Universe proper, so pick up a comic book once in a while.
Also Goliath. Also Howard the Duck. Bro, can you imagine a love triangle between Bucky, Nat, Natasha, and Matt? That'd be hilarious. That's just one episode. That'd be hilarious. People act like Wanda being powerful is like something they've been suffering for 50 years, even though we've only had 3 projects starring her. Multiverse Saga has like, I don't know, 30 things or something, and yet 3 of those have Wanda being the main character, and people complain that she's taken over the whole saga. Like, bro, relax. Also, shout out to this dude YouTuber, what's his name? I forgot his name, but I put it up here. He had a great explanation of, because of the Thor thing, the Guardians called the Nova Corps, and Nova Corps with Carol went to Earth, but Carol got infected. So Nova Corps was like, oh, nope, and then closed around the planet. And then they're like, hey, Icarus, can you fight him? Can you fight her? Oh, my 2 favorite Easter eggs I love in this show. Oh, 3. Okay, number 1, they gave T'Challa the comic book treatment, which, wow, that is surprising. Number 2, scrolls after cows. That is such a deep reference. You won't understand. Basically, Skrulls became cows in their first appearance, if I'm correct. And then later on, I think there's something have to do with that plot later. I don't remember. But... And finally, how Hawkeye in Civil War, which would launch Ant-Man, and in Zombies, he opens his mouth and releases the Van Dynes and stuff. Like, I love that. I love that attention to detail. Imagine Man-Thing. Man-Thing will go hard in season 2. Bro, a zombie Fisk? I say all this, and I know people are like, oh, well, 90% of the stuff isn't going to happen. Because, you know, they like to waste opportunity. I'm like, bro, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Just as long as what I'm given is good, it's good. Maybe it's just me. Because they like to promote Multiverse Saga characters, maybe Echo will be fine. I don't mind. I don't mind Darcy coming back. That'll be great. Thanks for watching another Sir Yapalot video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.